Hey guys, welcome back. It's Biggs. Now today, you see this tank behind me. Today I thought it would be nice. I was doing some work in the fish room today, and I was just sitting back and enjoying my fish, something that I often don't get a lot of time to do. And I thought today, I'm going to tell you guys about my favorite fish aquarium. And that's this one right behind me, this one right here. I could sit and watch this tank all day. So, let's look at it. Alright guys, well this tank was a custom made tank. There's two of them I got made. You guys have seen it before. The other one's directly above it. I call them the bunk beds. They're 160 gallons roughly. They're the same footprint as a standard 180 gallon tank. So they're 6 feet long, 72 inches by 24 front to back. And instead of being the standard 24 tall, these two tanks I got made are 21 inches tall. My glazier, the guy that makes my custom tanks for me and stuff like that, he makes them to kind of what I want for spec and stuff, and he always overbuilds them. These things are an absolute nightmare to move around. The glass size on these, I don't even know, it's like 13 mil or something. It's overkill, but I'll have these tanks for longer than I'll be around. The tanks I got built, you can see it in the far corner there. That's the trickle filter. It's a modified trickle filter version that I like using in some of my tanks. It gives that nice dappling rain effect. And the water is delivered to that trickle filter from this corner overflow over here. There's a pump in the bottom of this overflow, and it basically pumps all the way up and it goes to that trickle filter. And it's all nice and contained and closed. There's nice solid fitting lids on that, so I don't get any splashing, I don't get any water deposits. Everything's nice and clean and tidy. Awesome, awesome filter. Now the reason that I love using these old school trickle filters, not only because Biggs is old and he grew up in that era with the Dupla bio balls and stuff. No, I love them because they're permanent biomedia and they give 100% oxygen saturation into the water. Now the idea is that the media is actually removed from the water column. Water is pushed over that and then pushed through that, and it goes at a much slower pace, so the water actually trickles through the biomedia. Really, really efficient for biological filtration. My mechanical is handled at the beginning here in the overflow box using a nice peat of a matten filter or Hamburg matte filter from the guys over at Swiss Tropicals. Cut a nice little cube out there, a nice thick cube. I think it's about a 2-inch piece. And I wash that frequently and stuff like that. And that controls the cleanliness so that the biomedia itself doesn't get dirty. And then that gives me, as I say, 100% oxygen saturation in the water. And the reason being for that is my passion for the fish in this tank and the tank above it and some of the other tanks in the room is I love working with riverine fish. Riverine fish often come from very fast flowing water with very, very good levels of oxygen. So that's one of the reasons I really did it this way. A lot of the fish obviously are a little bit scared. One, I'll show you some backup, some of this stuff where I'll have some footage where you see that the fish will be a little bit more natural. They're not used to having this big giant mutant of a dude sitting this close to the tank all the time unless they're being fed. But in this tank, there's a Mecha splendens, which is a lovely little wild type live bear. It's a true Gadaean. And you guys have seen the video. I'll show it up here in the corner. There's a video of doing just talking about them specifically. But I love the nice natural wild live bears. And I've got a nice big colony of them in here. In the tank as well, though, it's a perfect harmony because I have some, there's a pair. You can see them just at the rocks right now. There's a male of the bigger one at the bottom and the female just behind him. And that is a pair of Paranitropus bulleri. And that is I believe it's a Mexican species. And it's a very, very fast water species. And it gets a very, very sharp, blunt nose and stuff like that. And those were a gift from my good friend, Mr. Dan Shreefy at Cichlids of the Americas. I brought them back long before when I was able to bring fish on an airplane. Also in this tank, there's several of the Toma cichlid tuba. Here's one coming across, or a pair coming across right now, and another one right there. And those are the exceptional tuba from the one and only Mr. Jim Cummings. Now, Jim Cummings lives really close to me. He's about half an hour, 40 minutes away in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And but his tuba are, without a doubt, one of the most breathtaking tuba I've ever seen. I'm very, very fortunate. I'm one of the few people that has bred tuba, and I bred them about a decade ago. And they're just a very, very slow fish to mature, and they're very, very a challenging fish for most people to breed. And I'm very, very fortunate that I was able to actually breed them. And that is due to a good friend of mine, Mr. John Sabo, and they were actually his fish, and he let me borrow them and stuff like that, and I worked with them for probably a year and a half, and I bred them multiple times, and they're very, very cool. But I'm very stoked to have some of Jim's offspring growing up in here, because Jim's are from the Rio Burro, and everybody just thought Tuba was Tuba. But that's the coolest thing about fish now, is that the world's getting smaller, and we're starting to explore, and we might find one fish in one river, and we just assume that's what it'll get based scientifically described on. But it might not be the fact that one river over, that fish looks vastly different. And that is exactly the case with this one here. This Rio Burro one, River Burro, is the absolute sexiest tuba that anybody knows about right now. And it is absolutely a showstopper. Now, the only other fish that are in here is another pair of Central American cichlids. And it's Cryptoheros, might be Amatitlania. I'm not really positive of that right now in my brain, but it's a pair of another Costa Rican species, same as the tuba, of Amatitlania myrnae. And it's another one of the convict types. They're relatively peaceful. I'll have to show some better video of them because they're very, very shy in this tank with me. And they're usually in that rock rubble, or there's a coconut shell kind of behind me, and the male like staking that out. And the female is just drop dead gorgeous with all the spangling, the bright yellow spangling on her body with a bright turquoise blue eye. But I can sit and watch this tank. There's the male poking his head out of the rock pile right now. I believe it's the male. We will find out very quickly. Yep, that's the boy. He's beautiful. So I guess they're getting a little bit used to me being here. And there's the female with him right now. Right in the center of the tank, both of them kind of staring at me going, hey, what's it with this weird dude? Why is he staring at us? But I love it. I love the natural sand substrate, the very, very fine, coarse gravel and sand mix. I love the natural stones. They were all harvested naturally on my property. They're all inert. And they're all river worn, so they're all rounded surfaced and stuff. In that rock pile, though, there actually have some half-cut sections of PVC pipe and stuff, so it gives different sections for if the fish want to get shelter, if the lovers get a little bit too amorous and they want to get away, that's perfect for them, or if the other fish are chasing them and they want some shelter, that's good, or a possible potential breeding site. And all the different woods and all that stuff is also all locally harvested in my property and stuff like that. Different hardwood branches off an oak tree and things like that. And a lot of it's starting to look really, really weather worn down now in the tank. I also like the addition of a lot of the different botanicals. The botanicals are all the different nut pods and seed pods and these giant weird shell pods and stuff like that. These things that I've brought back, or I've ordered from a lot of these different online retailers. I like a lot of the larger substance type things. I travel a lot, so me going and throwing in a couple of handfuls of leaf litter in here with the cichlids and everything in this tank, with them moving them around and digging them up, they would deteriorate and break down fairly quickly. And I think that would cause either a decline in my water parameters or my water quality, which I definitely don't want, or it just might make for a bit more of a mess for me to clean up. With the larger seed pods and that sort of stuff, I still get that nice botanical look to it and stuff, and it kind of looks like the litter that would be in a natural riverbed system. Now, if this is all faster water type habitats, I like the look of it, that the stuff just kind of falls where it may. There's no organization to it whatsoever. I might like to, the only thing I would like to do is maybe take the heaters, but the heaters is a matched pair. Only the one behind me here is actually plugged in. The other one is actually corded off of it. So they have to be only so far apart to be able to work. But they've been working in there for a year and a half. Love the tank. Hope you guys enjoy it too. So let's just watch it. Watch the fish and get you guys some close-ups. Now in the comments, if you guys can tell me what's your favorite tank. Man, I might not be able to get a picture of it, but give me an idea of what type of fish you like in your tank. I don't care if it's glowfish, I don't care if it's a South American beautiful setup with angels, might be a live bear tank, whatever. Tell me what your favorite type of tank is. I like this one right now, and as I keep all sorts of different types of fish, and my diversity and interest in fish is always changing. You know, this is my favorite tank right now, and I love it. Who knows? Might be a different tank next week.